What happens when a self-empowered woman meets and deals with maladaptive behaviors within the relationships that can involve our lovely men, women, or theys? So personally, I don't know any theys, but with men and women, I have dealt with a bunch of maladaptive behaviors since I was a teenager. That's because people don't tend to want to take ownership of their 0-1-year-old and then their 3 to 7-year-old. And then their teenager leads the way. So as a teenager, I learned about how to choose consciousness. So to work with my emotions and thoughts the way we do here with the inner growth mindset. I'm a 5D mystic, remember, in the Enlightenment Soul Age group. So woo, pseudoscience for those who don't believe in mystics. Also pseudoscience because I get to bring human, spiritual, and spirituality elements together. And I'm not an academic in the research lab, so it's an accurate terminology, but it's not because bringing together those subject matters has something that is not supportive. No, personal development, self-help, people can find it supportive because, one, if you're a mystic, you're going to enjoy being over here. And if you're on a spirituality journey, the 5D collective knows all about change and Christ consciousness. That's because we take ownership of our inner world. So we're not on Elsa's journey. Okay, so I don't want to be mystic in this one. We have a mystic one coming up, but self-empowered woman. Okay, so again, integration of brain. I'm attachment trauma informed. This is where I have healthy self-worth. I'm not a grandiose or ashamed. Nope, I'm not a love dependent. I'm not a love avoidant. I'm a person who knows how to talk to your face. It's more than just what I've heard online when it comes to people giving instructions on how a secure attachment person deals with breakups or maladaptive, again, child behaviors in their child, because it's from your 0-1-year-old attached panicky and your 3 to 7 shame submissive. So it's very clear. And as in fact, Stephen Porges has pointed out when I learned in one of my courses, this is on embodied philosophy and this one's on the polyvagal theory, he shares that a person in their biological rudeness will not be aware that they're being insensitive, that they're being rude. They will also not be aware of any of their behavior. They will justify it. So I see that happen quite often. And as a 5D mystic who is also a tarot reader, Akashic record reader, and with Reiki mastery, when people come to this cauldron, they're seeking to be supported in ways that though they don't want to take the ownership. So the 4D collective, they're on Elsa's journey. They don't take ownership of their inner child, of their insecurities. So they play out their unfinished business. As in fact, Terry Real, great therapist for couples, as he points out, people marry their unfinished business. And as Sadhguru talks about karma, even though he doesn't really realize that he talks a lot about good things, meaning the psych education stuff. Okay, so I get to, again, bring together the two. Because when I'm hearing Sadhguru and then I'm hearing Daniel, I'm like, oh, look, they're both talking about this. Consciousness, flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain. Oh, what is that? That's integration. What does that mean? It means that my corpus callosum is doing great. My hippocampus is doing great. My prefrontal cortex is doing great. And my interconnected connectome, which is what allows integration to happen, is doing great. And my default mode network is downregulated. So myself, Maria, is not scanning me and others in a way of being unsettled, meaning in my threat response while I'm being myself. No, I'm a very comfortable 0-1-year-old, 3-year-old with a grown-up. I'm my inner adult. So my inner child, which is the expert on my past, doesn't lead me. So I don't do maladaptive child behavior. I do where if somebody says, I don't like you, Maria, because you're a bitch, I'll be like, I'm so sorry. Wow. Is there anything you want to talk about? I'm at 44 years of age, actually. I won't be really interested at all in doing any of that, by the way, because the minute you tell me we're incompatible, I'm going to be like, okay, that was nice, and that's it. I don't have anything to tell you. I'm not going to lecture you. I'm a Pach. I'm not a Cusco. Self-empowered women don't lecture men, women, days if they say something like that. It's also something where I can use the word disrespectful, rude, but again, Stephen Porges comes to my brain. So when I have been in biologically rude situations, like one of the ones that I really got this beautiful gift, and I've talked about it on the audio episodes, not on YouTube. This is where a beautiful gift is what a divine feminine will know her oversoul, all of our oversoul. And so I intuitively knew. It was instinctive. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a great thing, this thing. But let me bring to you the human stuff, okay? So I'm getting yelled at in my face. It's not something funny, right? And I'm actually, in this very instant, able to regulate my nervous system because, one, I have panic attacks, by the way, so I've learned how to regulate those. And I didn't whine about it because I have good feelings. I have a good relationship with the emotions of being human. So again, I have a child-centric environment. I'm a grown-up now, but the point is, as a child, I didn't get made to feel ashamed, humiliated, or suppressed in having all my sensitive emotions. I was allowed to be what is a normal child. Okay, so normal is the word that I'm going to use, even though I know there's no normalcy. But normal to me, see, it's human nature to be mammals like this. So our humanity is kind and compassionate. So when I say normal, not because anything's abnormal, what I mean is our human nature is to be kind and compassionate in our mammalian heritage. Our human nature in our threat survival mode, because that's if a lion's about to attack you, is not going to be kind and compassionate. It's going to be on alert, like this. Like you see people walking around. And I notice when my body gets rigid. In fact, I've noticed a lot. It still gets rigid because I'm walking around a lot of people, and all these people, they're all walking around like they need to watch their back because they're all upset at life and a lot more. So let me put that aside. So I learned how to differentiate easily as I moved through life, and then I learned how to get more and more back into my true self. And I'll never forget, once I was in it, I was like, wow, I'm back to myself again. This is so nice, because my body, and that's your body can be here too, knows about the capacity to feel this restorative embodiment that the good attachment trauma experts I learned from have shared with me. So I didn't have any disruption, which is why once I settled back into my fullness, I was settled into what is an expanded version of me. Others want to say I've changed. Inside me, I feel the same, but more. Okay, so when you meet people and they're in their biological rudeness, as I did, I'm getting yelled at in my face, and my body is wanting to bring up stuff that is not have anything to do with the person in front of me, which is also why I knew this is a connection that's going to help me to expand, because that's what consciousness does. We expand together. So an integrated brain, again, is a person who has secure attachment. We're unflappable because we also have healthy self-worth, which means you can say whatever you want. I ain't changing. This is who I am. And your mannerisms don't indicate to me anything except for something's going on and I'm attachment trauma informed. And I know that you had a really, really bad reaction, and who knows what happened to you. So my heart goes out to you, because who knows what you went through to be in this moment the way you are. So my physical safety is not at risk, therefore I don't have to go to my survival mode. And since I'm a healthy self-worth person, I don't need love, I don't need not love, I'm not an avoidant, I'm not a dependent. You've just done nothing to the ego here because it's not personal. I learned how to not to take things personally as a teenager. So see, the maladaptive child behavior, I don't have it because as a teenager I made my choice. I'm going to treat you with kindness. You can treat me however you want. I'm going to consistently choose my heart body, my belly body, thank you Jesus, high five, and God, humility, humbleness, and this is what it is. So self-empowered women, we don't have envy, jealousy, spite, revenge, none of that, because that's a coward's game, quote unquote, and it's a coward's game for people who don't want to go to good therapy and get good help, right? But it's also not a nice thing to say, because a lot of people don't have the options yet, because there's not enough safe haven, secure base. There's not enough of the actual mental health people who care to be friends with all people. I see a lot of mantles of mental health. The minute that they have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or they friend that they say, oh, that's a covert narcissist right there. That's the minute you got a mantle of mental health. Because the minute that you have something like that, you're not going to do, that's a covert narcissist over there. That's what my parent is. That's what this is. You're going to say, hey, mom, hey, dad, hey, boyfriend, girlfriend, they friend. I want to talk to you. Let's chit chat. Shall we hear our opportunities, our options? So you don't treat a person like a scumbag, like the movies, because they have some maladaptive child behavior. You talk to them, accept, respect, love. That's because healthy self-worth means I'm going to have a conversation with you about those mannerisms, and then we're going to move to the next step if they're that important. In my case, my friend and I, we have built a really good friendship because I didn't react to their maladaptive child behavior, because I knew this is not the person I know you to be. Something happened, who knows what. Let me support you on a journey called becoming the best version of yourself. That's what relationships are made of and for. So here, 5D relationships. We support each other to heal trauma seriously. We're not mantles of mental health or yoga. We are the real deal of love. It's because we choose safe haven, secure base, and how to speak, converse, always direct communication and with love. Tune in for more.